Hey friends, Shayla here, and this is take 2 for tea time number 3. So I filmed this tea time talking about 2020, and as I was editing it together, none of it really came together very well. I couldn't really edit it in a way that it made coherent sense. Clearly I was tired and a little distraught after the accident in tea time number 1, which you can check out that video if you want the full story there. So I opted to refilm it. So here we are. I don't have tea today. I have my handy dandy Diet Coke from Panda Express where we went for dinner. So let's do this thing. So let's talk about 2020. 2020, I have an opportunity to do some things that I had previously been too busy to do. Before I got so busy with things, I really enjoyed crafting more, like paper crafting, sewing, things like that, but I haven't really done much with it in years. So I'm hoping to get back into that a little bit, but that does mean I will be slowing down my reading because I will be talking about other things I'm genuinely interested in. Now, in 2020, I'm willing to share some of these other things with my viewers if you guys are interested. So if you are not interested in that kind of content, that's okay. Just let me know, and I will stick to bookish, manga, and other otaku-related content. This is the corner of the internet where I tend to geek out. But one thing that I am geeking out about right now is my bullet journal. So I would like to start incorporating at least my reading journal into this channel. I will be having multiple bullet journals. I have decided a couple of different things I want to do with my bullet journals. If you want a video on what I plan on doing with them, let me know. Again, not up there, but down here, so that I know how much of the bullet journal I can incorporate into this channel while also still making my viewership happy. At the bare minimum, I will be doing at least like my monthly kind of setup in my reading journal. So you'll at least see that, and if you want to skip those videos, that's totally fine. That's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but it is something I'm genuinely enjoying right now, and I'm really excited about what I'm going to be using my 2020 bullet journal for. So I'm genuinely excited. So from there, let's jump into my Goodreads reading challenge. So I haven't fully decided what number I want to have for my Goodreads challenge. I might not even truly set one for 2020, because one thing I noticed in my reading last year, if you watched the previous video, is that my reading comprehension wasn't nearly as high. So what I want to do is I want to slow down the pace of reading for myself. I don't want to feel so pressured to blitz through so many things so I can review my backlist and what's currently releasing and everything that I'm excited about right at that second. And there's a couple of ways I'm going to be accomplishing this. One is I'm not going to put so much pressure on myself. And secondly, I'm going to be significantly cutting back how much I am spending each month on books. I mean, if I'm fully transparent, I probably spent between $300 and $400 a month on the books and manga that I was bringing in last year. And that's a significant number. And as I've thought about that number throughout 2019, it felt like a compulsion more than a hobby I was enjoying. So I'm purposely going to set myself a budget. I haven't fully decided on what that number is going to be a month yet. We kind of need to see where the chips are going to fall. But there's a couple different ways I'm going to combat that desire to spend. So first off, I'm going to be much more proactive about requesting NetGalley arcs for the things that I'm interested in the upcoming month. I'm going to try to not request too far out unless it's something that like I'm diehard for. And I'm also going to finally start reaching out to publishers a little more adamantly about the ones that I really want. Now that I've kind of got a decent little cushion of reviews over on NetGalley, I feel like I've got a lot more to offer a publisher. So I'm hoping that I can get a few more to look my way and be able to get some arcs that I'm really excited about. I mean, I'm going to check my privilege right now. I am very blessed with the arcs that I do receive. through NetGalley, and my friends over at Forever Romance have been very kind and very generous to me for the last few years that I've been working with them. And they are always so great to send me whatever I want, whether it's digitally or physically. They are wonderful. And sometimes they'll send me an ARC and a finished copy. I've sent on some of the finished copies to some of my friends, or, I've lent out an ARC copy, and just if the person loved the book enough, I've let them keep it because I already have a copy. So I'm trying to not keep the doubles. I do try to share the love, as I like to say, with my forever titles, and send those off to other people, other reviewers, especially if there's an own voice element to it. I do try to get it a duplicate in someone's hands that is own voices for that particular story. So I will be doing that, as well as utilizing my library a whole lot more. I've not been very good about using my library the last couple of years, and I think that's because I felt guilty going to the library when I have such a backlog on my physical TBR. That's another thing we're going to talk about in a minute. But my library is quite small, but they do actively have a system where I can go and request titles that I want. So I might not be reviewing some of the big titles quite as fast, but I do intend to still utilize my library a lot more, especially if it's a title that I'm kind of on the fence about, not in a rush to read, or, I hear a lot of people starting to talk about it. I'll put in the request and kind of go that route rather than rushing and buying it and having it be something I didn't like when I had the experience with Gideon the Ninth in November. It's not that it was a bad book, it was just not the book for me. And so, yeah, that's that. Moving on from there, my physical TBR. So I do want to keep my physical TBR down to kind of a dull roar. I am going to continue with Book of the Month because I do like that subscription service, because I actually get to pick the title. And if I don't like any of the titles that month, I don't have to get any. So I like that option. I'm not obligated to getting all this little stuff with it either. I just want the book. And so I've really liked having Book of the Month. So I am going to continue Book of the Month. But I'm also going to be much more selective. I'm not going to be getting a lot of multiples. I'm probably just going to pick the one a month that I pay for and go from there. Unless there's one that I really, really want, then I'll go ahead and do that, because that's a $10 add-on as opposed to going out and paying anywhere from $17 to $27 for a brand new hardback. So I'm definitely going to be more selective with those kinds of things and much more limited. But in general, I am going to bring out a TBR jar. That's right, people. The TBRs are going to be coming back, the monthly TBRs for 2020. And I want to see how this goes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a certain number of titles from my physical TBR. And then I'll obviously have my NetGalley ARCs that I'm working with and some things like that. Another thing I do intend to do more in 2020 is take more detailed notes on each title I'm reading, not just ones that I think will be popular reviews. I want to do more thorough reviews just for myself. I do have a blog. I've not been utilizing it very much the last couple of months. I do plan on doing more in-depth reviews on mangas where I'll get more spoilery over on that. So if you want the spoilers on anything I'm reading, I'm going to try to have it all over there on the blog. I'm going to try to revamp that the last couple weeks. Like once the close is done for the salon, I plan on revamping my blog. I might even just start completely over. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do yet, and go from there. And at the very least on that blog, you'll be getting a weekly update on at least the manga I've read. I do intend to review them on Goodreads as well as on the blog. So I'm not sure if I'm going to incorporate books and manga over there yet. I'm still on the fence about that. If you have thoughts about that, let me know down below. All right, so what else in 2020? I would like to get a little bit more nonfiction and a little more classics in next year, but the big thing I want to do next year in 2020 is to reread more. There are so many books on this shelf that I love, but I have not reread in years, or I haven't had an opportunity to reread yet. So each month there's two things I want to do. So I want to reread at least one book/series a month, and I do want to reread one manga series a month. I have a lot that are completed now that I've not read through from start to finish since I got their completion. So I will again have like TBR style jars with the manga series I want to reread in 2020, as well as books and series that I want to reread in 2020. Now, I am going to let you guys know that in the Tell It Again book club with April and I will be picking that back up in January. Life got a little crazy from October to December for both of us. So we wanted to just let the year kind of fizzle out. And we will be continuing that in the new year. But from February to March, we will be rereading a particular very popular retelling series. So that announcement will be coming fairly soon. We're still kind of figuring out some of the details with that. I'm thinking we might turn it into more of a read along as well as the book club. So we're kind of trying to figure all of that out. So half of this is in my head and I just haven't had a minute to talk to April about it. So April, if you have thoughts, let me know, right? Another thing I plan on doing is to have a little bit better structure in my upload schedule. Obviously through December, it's been wild and I've been doing every day. No, I have not all of a sudden become a daily YouTube content person, but I would like to upload at least 3 times a week. So I haven't decided exactly what days at this point. The most likely scenario right now is like Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. For my particular schedule, as with my work schedule, I'll be doing alternating days on the weekend and then a day during the week. So I'm thinking Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday is what's feeling good right now. So that's what I'm going to say here, but I'll let you guys know if that changes, obviously. I have a secret project that's a collab thing that I'm doing with a few friends as well in 2020. That announcement will be coming before the end of the year, but I am genuinely excited about it. The Manga Love Readathons will be back in 2020. We'll most likely do another round in February and then another round in August for my birthday. So I think that's everything I wanted to talk about for 2020. If there's anything in particular you'd like to see on my channel or something you don't want to see on my channel, talk to me down in the comments. That's the best thing you can do for me. So that is it for this particular tea time. Thank you so much for watching this video. It means a lot to me. If you're new, I would love it if you would subscribe and click the little bell. And you guys always know that a like and a comment makes my day. This is YouTube, so you guys know what to do. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.